Hi guys, Dragon Arthur here. Today I'm going to be doing my July 2014 banlist predictions and what I kind of want to be banned. Again, this is just my opinion, or what I think, or what I've thought out of they might do. A lot of this stuff probably won't get touched too much in this ban list. One, because a lot of things are just being newly released, and Konami does want to make money. They don't want to ban everything they just put out. Nothing is too incredibly overpowered that is like game breaking, like Dragon Rules were when they came out, or like Spellbook of Judgment. But I do think there are some things here that kind of need to be toned down or changed around or stuff. So I'm going to start with the ones I think should go to 1. And that are Fruitcake, Lava Volchain, Black Horn Heaven, and Soul Charge. Fruitcake is because, look, they're not going to put Angeli to 1. That's, like, Angeli does a lot, but she doesn't make the infinite combos. This guy's the offender when it comes to infinite combos. This guy, the deck can run well at 1. If you put Angeli back to 1, the deck's going to run like it used to run, and it's not going to be that great. Plus, they want to sell Primal Origins packs. They're not going to put Angeli to 1. And look, if they put this to 1, it opens up the deck having to run pudding sets, and it opens up more avenues that the deck has to actually think and doesn't just do the same combo every single time because it can. Do you want to have a mention here?
About Fruitcake?
Yeah.
Yeah, from playing the deck, I reckon Fruitcake's more likely to get hit than anything else in the entire deck, really. Just because it's a really powerful card. You draw it early game, it's not as good as an Angeli, but if you draw it mid game or late game, it's probably one of the best top decks you can get, just because you can instantly special something else out and start plussing off of it. The reason it should go to 1, well, not should go to 1, but is more likely to go to 1 than anything else in the deck, is just because it's the main card that gets you your +1s.
Like, you can, unlike
Angeli replaces herself, and then 2 turns after, well, a turn after special summoning, it has to get shuffled back into the deck, whereas Fruitcake is, you just have to have a monster in the graveyard.
Fruitcake kind of goes and does everything. Like, once Angeli's banished, unless of course you can get her back, you know, you're kind of sitting on nothing. If you have a 1 and it gets banished and you can't do something, you can't levy her or get her back in the grave, you're kind of back to playing how the deck used to run. And that's not what people want. Like, if you put Fruitcake to 1, however, you got to work around the fact that you only have 1. If it gets taken out, you got to get it back. You can get it back in ways. If it goes to the grave and gets recycled, you'll recycle it back anyway. But running 3 is just, or 2, it does too much. I think this should go to 1. Next thing is Lava Volchain. Now, the only reason why I have this in here is because of Shadows coming out soon. If this is running 3 in Shadows, they're going to abuse the fuck out of it. I'm sure they already do in the OCG. Like, this would just be ridiculous in Shadows. Just send Falcon to the grave and just do everything. Like, it doesn't hurt almost any other deck except maybe Gishki's if it goes to 1. It's not because this card itself is overpowered. It's a very good card. But it's because a deck is going to abuse the hell out of it that I think this will probably go to 1. I think Honor Arc could go to 1. I don't think it'll do it yet. And Exciton, I think, will get banned in time. But I think they're going to do the exact same thing they did with Bryanak for Exciton, whereas they're going to release it as in a special edition or something, or in a tin, get their money off of it, and then ban it. I don't need to go over why. Soul Charge to 1. The card is broken and it's not broken at the same time. It puts a cost on your life it uses your life as a resource, but you know, this is why people run Heartland Draco. Someone soul charges twice, and their opponent, and they set up the back row, and the opponent goes into Heartland Draco and just swings through for game. Like, this card's a very good card, and I do like it in the game. I don't like the fact that you don't pay a cost to play it. You only pay cost to you only pay life as an effect. Yeah, it's like it'll never replace something like Monster Reborn. Monster Reborn's either grave. This is just your grave. But you know, it does set up stuff. It does have the drawback where you can't battle that turn, but that doesn't really do a lot when you know you can go into Honor Arc or Honor Arc and Exciton and just no. But I do think it should stay in the game. It does put a big variation in. It does let people have plays if they draw into one, but running 3 is ridiculous for people that just spam Curry Bandits and crap. The last one I think should go to 1 is Black Horn. Now I'm going to go a little bit into this.
It's too good.
Yeah. There is this summon the creation rule where if a monster wasn't created, the summon didn't resolve, it cannot be like soul charged or foolish or monster reborn. Like if your opponent tries to get out of Stardust and you play Black Horn of Heaven and the Stardust goes to the grave, they can't monster reborn it or soul charge it. Same with like XYZs. This just stops too much. It just counteracts people playing the game. It doesn't even give someone a chance to respond. It's like they play it and the card goes. The only response you can really do is 7 tools or wiretap, and it's just you put this back in the deck, they draw into it, and they just use it again. Come on, if you're not running this card right now, at least in your extra deck, you really should be. It's too strong. The next thing I want to talk about quickly was Solemn Warning, Solemn Judgment. This is something I've been thinking about a long time, since the last ban list. I think these two should be swapped around personally. The reason why is Solemn Judgment, well, first of all, they have Exciton. The idea of Exciton is late game when you're below or being shoved by your opponent, you destroy their resources and then you equal out the game. Like Solemn Judgment does that. Like early game, it's very, very costly, 4,000, half your life. You know, you can't really Solemn Judgment and then try to play Soul Charge as well. You're not going to get too much. Well, you can, but you're not going to get a lot. To pay 4,000 life like really early is pretty big, especially if someone wiretaps it. Whereas late game, paying, I don't know, 500 life, if in case you get it late or something. You know, it also makes you really consider whether you should play it on your opponent's MST or if you should wait until they try to Honor Arc or something. It really just adds diversity in what you can do with it. You can play it almost any time, but it can be more risky than Warning. And I just think they should be swapped around. Warning just... It's a bit more limited, but the life cost early is a hell of a lot less. And to get that advantage early, you know, I think the trade-off early for Judgment and late games is better. Like Warning, sometimes you can't even use late. Next to 2, Fire and Ice Hand.
They're too strong at 3.
Too strong at 3. You put it at 1 and they're useless, or next to useless. Even Reborn Tengu's better. Bloody having 2.
2 is a nice number.
2 is a good number. 2 means that decks like Traptrix, Hats, sorry, can't spam them out so much. It means that other decks can still use the Ice and Fire Hand engine. It means Konami's still going to make money from Dragons or Legends just because of these 2. They won't drop much in price. And White Tap and a couple other things. Like, I think 2 is a good number for these. If not this ban list, the next one, but 2's pretty balanced. The next couple of cards I want to talk about are on summon things. Bottomless Trap Hole, I don't see going to 2 anytime soon. I also don't see it getting banned. I know that Traptrix spam it a lot. The one that I was thinking of, which I don't have, I'm sorry, was Traptrix Trap Hole. I can see Trap Tricks Trap Hole going to 1. Because Trap Tricks can still recycle it and reuse it over and over. But now other decks have started using it and spamming it out. And it's just annoying. You get your monster out. It's like, yay, sweet, my monster's out. Effect? No. And it negates it. It negates the effect on summon. Like, if you have an on summon effect, no. Okay, Trishula. Not that it's in the meta at the moment. Trishula effect on summon. Ah, no. At least Bottomless means you can get those effects off. Like, Burrito. 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 Whatever you want to call him. Bottomless him. Ah, still gets his effect. Trap Tricks Trap Hole. Gets nothing. Like, almost everything uses effects now. Especially, you know, on summon or near summon. And the whole idea is you want to special summon something like an XYZ out and then use the effect. It's like the whole idea of the Blackhorn, where Blackhorn will just stop you from getting anything and then you can't even get it back. It's too much. Now, Torrential Tribute, however, is the opposite. I can see this card going to 2. Why? It puts your own field at risk, it puts your opponent's field at risk. You know, if your opponent soul charges and tries to go on Exiton, you're both going to lose everything anyway. Like, I would like to see this card at 2. It would be very nice to see that card running at 2. And I would run it at 2, and it'd work, and it wouldn't break the game. Next thing is Soul Drain. Do not know why that's at 1 now, still. Like, D-rules are gone, E-rules are gone. This card should be back at 2. Skill Drain should be at 2 as well. Or at 1. I hate Skill Drain. I don't know why it's been at 3 for so long. Soul Drain really should be at 2. I would like to see it at 2. It just, like, hello, yeah. I don't really know what else to say about it, but then it should be at 2. Like, it's not going to kill the game putting it at 2. It's not going to make any decks run better than others. It's just going to equal things out, and, you know, well, it'll kill Visions a little bit, but Visions still have Crane. Now, next is some special mentions of cards that I either want to see come back or could see come back, and they're all synchros, really. Trishula. I would like to see that come back to 1, like the OCG has. Not a lot of decks run synchros. It'd kind of upsell, you know, people trying to run the Worm? Genryu or Worm or Wim? I think it's Worm. The new archetype, when they can synchro summon during your turn and they go into this. It's just, I could see that being played. Like, there's already cards which non-target return to hand, like Tiramisu and shit. Like, a non-target banish is almost the same when it comes to what you can do. I mean, at least if it's banished, you can put it back into the grave and then do something with that. But, you know, it's a little bit broken, but it's not easy to get out, and it's a big cost, and people already run stuff, like a lot of, they run Trap Tricks Trap Hole, they run, Breakthrough Skills. I could see this coming back to 1. Like, not everyone's going to run it, not everyone runs tuners, or synchros, so, Yugioh Guardian. Now, this is one that I really don't know why it hasn't come back, especially when you have cards like Big Eye and Honor Arc, where you just take your opponent's card for free. Like, you just can't attack. And, like, the whole game isn't about dealing damage to your opponent and damaging it. It's about card advantage. Like, you take... You have a Yugioh Guardian and you attack in an XYZ. Sure, you get the XYZ, but you don't get any materials on it. You can't use this effect. And everything that everyone runs almost now is XYZ. You take one of their level 4 monsters, well, unless you're running level 4 engine with XYZs, and if you're running synchros, it's probably not likely that you're running half-half. You know, what are you going to do with it? It goes into defense mode. I mean, sure, a level 6 synchro with 2800 attacks is a bit ridiculous, but this card, like, at 1 is not going to break the game. There's already 101. I don't know. And Big Eye. I don't know why one of those aren't at 1. Dark Strike Fighter. I can see going back to 3 once its errata comes out. Everyone can see that. And Shien, I would like to see come back to 2. because 6Ms have lost their big powerhouse card. They've lost Gateway. They're not doing anything. They're nowhere. At least if Xian comes out, it kind of puts them somewhere. You know, you can get past trap holes and shit. But then there's still cards like Blackhorn, which will just stop this. Nah, there's no Xian negates. Xian negates. Xian negates. That's not gonna happen, obviously, unless of course you're new to the game and you think that happens, which it doesn't. Newsflash. Like, hello. You can run 3 in 1. Xian's not gonna get too far. But yeah, like, I could really see him coming back to 2. He's pretty easy to beat up. I mean, the deck can't get past 3,000 unless, of course, they've got Shadow Xian with Kageki. Like, you have a 3,000 beat stick, you're gonna kill it. Simple. But that's just what I'd like to see. I would really like to see these go back to 1. That get the errata and go to 3, and this go to 2. And the rest of the cards I've mentioned so far. Please comment, like, subscribe. Like, I would like people to discuss about this on my channel. Like, you know, what do you guys think? Do you think Go-Yo Guardian coming back to 1's a good idea, or do you think it's going to break the game? What about Trishalot? Doesn't seem to be doing much in OCG. And what about this son of a bitch? Blackhorn.
Best card.
no cost for you to play, just a limit on what you can play it on, which will happen anyway. So yeah, comment what you guys think. Dragonite out. When I can find how to stop this. This isn't my camera. How do you stop this thing?
With the button.